Hello and welcome everyone to another StarCraft 2 England cast. Today I have got a game between LiquidZenio and Flutter. So we do have LiquidZenio playing as the red Zerg player in the right position, and we do have Flutter as the blue Zerg in the top position. So this is a ZvZ. Now this is from the Razer replay pack of the week, and that is obviously from Team Liquid. So Razer are now sponsoring that as of this week, which is brilliant. It means that Team Liquid are going to be putting out more replays every single week of their real top players, and it's absolutely fantastic. So I am really excited about that, and I mean, by all means go to Team Liquid Pro and take a look at the replays, download them, and I mean, it's all great because basically it just means that esports is growing, it's getting more exposure. Razer are a company which have always been backers of esports and sponsoring it, so that's absolutely fantastic. Now the replay pack this week does have Zenio and Hero from Team Liquid as the two kind of players who are featured, and it's all from the Korean ladder, so top players on the Korean ladder. And I mean, some great games. I've cast one already. It was Hero versus Command, and it was a PVT, so go and check that out if you haven't seen it. Now both players so far are just droning up, getting that 14, are both saving some minerals. So will it be a hatch first, or actually both going to 15? So I would almost guarantee we are going to see a hatch first build from both players, and pretty much identical timings. I mean, slightly ahead for Zenio, but only by literally a second or two. So this is going to be a pretty much symmetrical game so far. It all depends now on when Zenio and when Flutter choose to take their gases, choose to get their pools. But so far both players gone up to 16 supplies, so this is something you don't tend to see as often in kind of the North America or even the European server of this kind of real macro heavy Zerg style, because there's just such a risk of that super early play. But I mean, both players have got these absolute great positioning of overlords to know exactly when each other's timings are going down, and I mean, both players, again, nearly identical with all of their timings. They're both getting their extractor down. The extractor was slightly quicker for Zenio there, so he will have a fraction more gas. But again, these are just minor things, but minor things do make a difference this early on in the matchup. What I will be interested to see is whether the players do decide to go for the Baneling Nest before speed, or whether they'll get the speed up first. It is a kind of a difference in play style, and it will be kind of key to see how this match is going to go, and whether even Banelings will be used lots, or whether they'll just be there for defense, and whether both players go straight into roaches, or even something else entirely. So this should be a great match. I mean, on the Korean server you do get more macro heavy games. It's just kind of the way things work, that everyone who plays on Korea tends to sort of favour this macro game, and I mean, for a lot of people they like that. But both players have pulled units out of gas. No workers for Zenio there, so just getting speed, not even going to get that Baneling Nest out anytime soon. Meanwhile, these Zerglings are coming out now. Zenio is very fractionally ahead in terms of his speed timing, but again, so close. Flutter is getting out that spine as well, so we're probably going to actually end up seeing quite a lot of speedling action. And I mean, no Banelings as of yet. Those Queens will be able to pick off the Zerglings, who are just running around getting some good scouts off. No scouts will be available for Flutter though, because the Queens were used by Zenio to block off this ramp, denying the scout, and that is really critical. Flutter is now getting down his Baneling Nest, so there will be Banelings for Flutter. Meanwhile, Zenio still not put anything back in gas at all, just literally getting only minerals and nothing else. So what is Zenio planning? Is he planning to go for some kind of mass speedling push, or who knows? Only time will tell. But that Baneling Nest is half done now for Flutter, so he should have time should he want to go into mass speedlings. And I mean, Zenio is getting out quite a lot of Zerglings here. Speed has literally just finished for him, and it looks like he's just going to go for it. The Baneling Nest won't finish in time. Zenio just skipping Banelings altogether, going straight to roaches, which isn't too risky, but it can be a bit dodgy. The Queen's absolutely great here. Flutter using the Queens to prevent Speedlings running and getting two Banelings behind, and I mean, he'll be fine from any of this Zergling pressure. It's just not going to do anything very much, because these drones can just pull back, and obviously with the Banelings there, those Zerglings aren't going to be able to do anything. There's a good defense by Flutter. Meanwhile, we will see Zenio getting out his evolution chamber, a second spine crawler, and really just only that one gas, still getting the second one out as we speak. I mean, these roaches are going to be very, very early if he does start getting them, but hasn't actually built any as of yet. Just keeping these speedlings outside the base, ready to poke in if they do want to. 2 Zerglings come out just to scout for Flutter there. Great bailing spread here as well. He knows that Zenio doesn't actually have any units there at all in terms of to come and harass, so this is going to be a really interesting match to see exactly what happens. I mean, I think Flutter is just ahead, a lot ahead actually. Flutter 43 drones to only 36 of Zenio, but Zenio's getting those roaches up pretty damn quickly, getting his third base up as well really, really fast. So again, both of these players are pretty damn close. Now, the supply lead looks like it's going in Zenio's favour, but that's purely because he is getting those roaches out. Roaches are so supply heavy, and 3 spine crawlers which we're building are now cancelled for Flutter. So, I mean, I'll be interested to see what's going on. And this is a nice little move by Zenio here, sending the Zerglings the long way round so they're not spotted by the Overlords. And, I mean, that just should be able to deny this third base. Just having a look at what is there, there's only a couple of roaches and 2 banelings. These Zerglings will almost certainly be able to deny this base, force a cancel off on it. I don't think he will be able to hold it. Those 2 roaches would easily die. The cancel is forced, and that's quite a big win there for Zenio. Meanwhile, you will see Zenio is getting down his lair, as is Flutter. And at some point down here, Flutter has got supply blocked, so I'm not quite sure. Oh, the Queen's here, killed off the Overlord, so the third base down now for Zenio. Obviously, that puts him slightly ahead, and some Speedlings getting to the main base as well. This could do some damage, but more importantly, getting massive amounts of scouting information. The 1-1 upgrades on the way down for Flutter. Meanwhile, just +1 missile attack on the way for Zenio. But obviously Zenio has quite a lot more units at the moment. If we go to the counting station, it's 10 roaches to 10 actually. It's leveled up, but there are quite a few more on the way for Zenio at the moment. Obviously his lair is done. A third hatch is still only half done for Flutter, whereas Zenio does have his third base up and running, getting these spine crawlers there just for defense, and a push actually coming in now from Flutter as well. So I mean, I think this will be easily held off. +1 missile attack is done for Zenio. Meanwhile, no upgrades are yet finished for Flutter. And Zenio actually going for that Hydra den as opposed to the Infestation Pit. So we will almost certainly now see Roach Hydra coming into the mixture, and +2 missile attack straight on the way. Zenio actually also getting down the Infestation Pit as well. Now, I mean, that could purely just... no, sorry, I do apologise, misread there. Flutter getting down the Infestation Pit, so it's going to be Roach Infester versus Roach Hydra. And that will be very, very interesting to see how it comes out. Flutter is coming down with these roaches here. They could do some damage, but there are 2 spines and 2 queens, so, I mean, it'll at least buy Zenio enough time in order to reposition his army in order to deal with that. Now, this one Zergling here, just kind of making sure there's not going to be any Nidus Worm come down or anything like that. And, again, Flutter is just being forced back. He can't actually engage as of yet. There's just too much stuff there for Zenio. Zenio getting 8 Hydras out, and, I mean, Flutter does need to pull backwards, otherwise he will lose stuff. Both players... Flutter does have Roach Speed out, and I don't actually think Roach Speed is done yet. Oh, it is just finished now for Zenio, so both players do have Roach Speed. Taking a look down here, just some Spine Crawlers moving up to this third base, keeping some Banelings there, just to protect it from Zergling run-bys. +2/2 on the way for Flutter. Meanwhile, +2 missile attack is about half done for Zenio, and he's also getting out quite a large number of Hydralisks. And we are going to get an engagement going on here at the Watchtower, and I mean, Flutter's going to come off worse from that, but not by a considerable amount. And if we take a look at actually the lost, I mean, only 12 and 15 units killed, so even in the lost tab, under 1,000 resources lost for each player, which at the 12-minute mark is quite surprising, but both players approaching max, and I mean, Zenio is now at 100 and over 180 to 140, has got that 40 supply lead. It's not coming from drones, so I mean, that is a big army boost for Zenio as opposed to Flutter, and if he goes for this now, I imagine he's going to try and time it with that +2 missile attack, but the Infestors are out now for Flutter, and they will do huge damage with the fungal growth. There's one goes off straight away. Fungal growth is incredibly good against roaches, and it's all about Flutter's micro and whether he can get those massive fungal growths off like that. Just pulling backwards, +2 will finish for Zenio. Just as this engagement goes on, some Infestors are getting sniped off. Those Hydras doing absolutely huge damage with the +2, and there's the GG. So, that was a very, very passive ZvZ. Both players just tried to build up the tech they wanted. I think the key turning point was when Zenio managed to force a cancel on the third base of Flutter while getting his own third base up, which really just allowed him to macro like mad and get that 200 Roach Hydra army in production, and ultimately can just push before Flutter had enough to deal with it. Thank you very, very much for watching. If you did enjoy the cast, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Twitter. By all means, check out the other games I'm going to be doing from the Razer sponsored replay pack of the week on Team Liquid. I'm going to try and get quite a few of those done. Well, thank you very much for watching, and tune in again. Bye for now.